so many questions and so many like things I want to ask you that it's gonna be a good time. And I know you don't have any problem talking.
No. I put on my sunglasses. So I feel like I have like it gives me this confidence. I feel like Superman when I put on my glasses.
I get it, man. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Finding Arizona podcast. I'm your host, Jose. As always, we are here in the wonderful studio. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we have someone very special today. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This guy, just talking to him for the last 10 minutes has really been eye-opening. So I want to give it up. Well, please welcome JC of Wrong to Strong Fitness. Thank you, JC.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming by. We met, through mutual friends, and so hopefully we can make this fun for you, all right? First question off, tell us a little bit about Wrong to Strong and how it got started.
Well, it began as a dream when I was in prison. I started planning it about 7 years ago when I first went to prison, and I just had it on paper pretty much, and I ended up getting violated in 2015, and that's when it really, really came together because it was an eye-opener. So it was pretty much, I really needed to get my shit together pretty much.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I got out in 2013. I came home with 2 notebooks that I carry with me to this day.
I flipped through it a little bit, yeah.
And it was a plan, a 5-year plan, and it was become sponsored by 5%, get my license, get a job, become one of the best personal trainers, work for LA Fitness, and it was just checking stuff off, and
yeah,
I was doing good, but I was still kind of like, I thought that little things didn't matter. Like, I was driving without a license, but it was cool because I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing like big stuff, so that was okay to me.
Yeah.
But I ended up, messing up, and I got sent back, and that's when I really realized is that I have to follow all the rules pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's got to be certain things, like when let's first backtrack a little bit. I mean, going to prison is we have a lot of people come in here, and that's something that's never come through here, and that's something that I, personally, one of my cousins is serving time right now, and that's one thing that my family goes through and deals with, and on a personal level, I've only ever seen him once, and he's serving, this long sentence, and it's, for me, as a family member, I can understand the difficulties of reaching out and connecting with someone who's in an isolated incident in this place of like, you're in trouble, but you're still a family member too. It's like, can you give us a little bit about your family and what, because I have a sense of like what you're about to like tell me about like gang life and things like that we discussed earlier. So can you give me a little insight about that?
I mean, honestly, my family really wasn't there while I was in prison. I have my 2 sisters that have only been the ones that really have like had my back, like 100%.
Yeah.
I used to get really mad because I used to see all these other guys that were there for like really bad crimes, like bad stuff, and they would get visits and they would get money sent to them, and it used to just piss me off because I used to be like, but my family really was the gangs, like my gang that I was involved with. Like that's why I grew like I say it grew like a flower in there because I used to feel at home there because that's where I found my family, unity, love, structure, everything. I found it there. It's I always wanted it, and I always was seeking for it because I never had it as a kid. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, so
yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that like there's so many layers to who you are, and I want to, a lot of the times what we do here is just try to pull it back and see where like some of that comes from, and that one of those things is family and support, and then where you where do you get your understanding? Like, where did you learn? I mean, I know that you said the gang life, but where did you get a lot of your education from? The learning of your business and learning of who you are today.
I have a PhD in street life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the best education. You know, it's funny because when I first came home, I went for a big interview for Orange Theory, and the big boss lady, right, she's still my friend to this day. I showed up and I was really nervous. You know, I was wearing slacks for the first time in my life without having to go to court, and I was dressed up, and she told me, she's like, why are you so nervous? And I was like, well, I have to tell you something. And she's like, what, that you're a convicted felon? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she started laughing. She's like, JC, she's like, you if I were to drop you off on Roosevelt and 16th Street, and I dropped off a college kid that grew up with a gold spoon in his own mouth, like, the next day you would show up with a meat coat and, like,
yeah,
you know, she was like, you have the best education. She's like, you're a hustler. Look at how far you went in LA Fitness, because they scouted me out when I was at LA Fitness, because like 6 months down the road, I was already their master trainer.
Wow.
So it's like I was working from 4 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night every day.
Jesus.
And just that mentality of just go. Like, I mean, that's what I learned on the streets. It's like, it was all or nothing. You know what I mean? So
every little scrap.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Everything counts.
Do you, do you hold any ill will towards anyone, or anger, or anything like that, or negativity that would bring you back to a place like prison or jail or anything like that?
I used to, man. That's what actually made me go back this last time. You know, I still had a lot of pain. I still had a lot of, resentment and just hate. You know, I resented my mom for, it was her brother that molested us as kids. I resented a lot of my family, my dad for abandoning us. I had a lot of pain and a lot of, like, anger in me. But at the end of the day, it was affecting me more than anybody else, because I kind of sat down and thought about it. I was like, everybody's actually moved on with their life. They probably don't even think about it. Yeah. I'm the only one that's still, like, fucking up and still thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was time for me to let it go.
Yeah.
It was time for me to let it go and get better.
I'm like, there's so many things that you have coming and going and making you who you are. Does the writing help? Does the writing give you an opportunity to just take moments for yourself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the writing has become almost like therapy. I have, poetry. Like, a lot of people will be like, you write poetry? And I'm like, yeah. What, just because I got covered in tattoos? I can't write poetry?
Yeah. Your mind is, I like to say your mind is one of your strongest features, like your strongest attributes, if you know how to work it. And that's, a lot of the times people are afraid to go dive that deep and then, take the moments and, actually train their brain.
It's funny because, like, now that I'm a little bit older, I think about, like, as a kid, I used to, like, build my own toys out of, like, cardboard and, like, toothpaste boxes and stuff like that, because we really didn't, have no toys as kids. And I came to realize that, because for a long time I used to think that I was like dumb. For a long time I don't know how to read, I don't know how to write. But no, I actually came to realize that I'm actually really fucking smart. I was just using it in all the bad, situations, all that stuff. And now that I sit down and I write, and, like, I'm one of the busiest trainers at my gym, and, like, it's crazy. Like, once you really focus your and I've heard this before, that felons coming out of prison are some of the hardest working guys. They're actually very, very smart. They just used it for all the bad reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you focus, if you can steer it to another momentum or another attribute or trait in which you have, it just works. It somehow just gives you kind of a new opportunity almost. I don't know, just it's really cool to like see that kind of momentum move to something positive and move to something that really gives you hope and gives you new enlightenment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of my poetry, I'm working on 3 books, and one of them is my bio, my
Yeah.
life. One of them is called A Dozen Roses, and it's actually about all the women in my life because I grew up with a lot of women in my life. I
Yeah.
have a lot of girl cousins. I
Okay.
have all girl daughters.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like there's been a lot of women in my life, so they've all brought something into my life or taught me something.
Let's get into that. I mean, I know we talked about your mom and a little bit, we touched on that. And then what about your daughters and what have they attributed to your life and what have they given you insight into?
I mean, honestly, my 2 oldest daughters, Jasmine and Julia, I was in prison most of their life, but when I got out and I see them now, 22, 21, and they're actually really good girls. Like it makes me sad that I wasn't there, but it also makes me happy that maybe I wasn't there for a reason because I was so damaged back then. So I kind of like, oh man, I good thing I wasn't around. Like
Yeah.
they actually made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes when we're not good parents, we mess up the kids more than help them. So like, but to see them, it makes me really happy and proud. And Valerie, she's 14. She's just a sweetheart. I mean, I was involved in her life for a while, and like I'm gonna pick her up tomorrow. I see her, and she's just happy that I'm around. I mean, we always want to be. That's like the one thing that I always crave. Getting to know my dad, and even now that I'm older, I still like, hey dad, how you doing? I call him once in a while.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, good.
just trying to make that connection. I think it's just something natural that we have in us. So it's like my daughter's. I have a newborn right now also. Annabella.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Bella, you said?
Annabella.
Annabella.
Yes,
Nice.
she's 4 months, and it's now I get to see the whole thing. Now I have everything I've been craving my whole life. I have my family. Like I have my fiance. She has 2 boys and our baby. And it's I come home and we have that family. We're gonna go to Dave and Buster's tonight. And
Oh, very cool.
go
Yeah.
hang out and have the boys play video games and stuff. But like.
Did you ever think that you'd get to that?
No, that's what I was about to say, man.
Never
It's
thought
like
you'd
sometimes
have that?
I'm just waiting to like wake up, and it's like it was all a dream. You know what I mean? Like this is just and it's sad, but like sometimes I'm waiting to wake up and be like back in prison again. Like wake up back in the bed because I spent so much time there that it almost seems like this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
So,
It's like it just gives you. I think I hope that it gives you like hope and realization of like you can make a difference, you can make that change, you can do all the things that you wanted to. But obviously that does already because you're doing what you're doing for a reason, and it's really cool, man. I don't know how many times I've wished someone would come in my life and give me that kind of motivation and it's cool that someone actually introduced me to you because I've been looking to get back into working out, and I want to ask you a little bit about that. Like, where does that strength and why choose something like fitness to help guide your new life?
Honestly, I think that fitness is like the best medicine for everything, whether it's addiction, whether it's anything, it's depression. Fitness is something that I seen because obviously in prison you see people from all walks of life that are suffering from many illnesses. I mean, from addiction to depression, just everything. You see every walk of life in there, and that's the one way that everybody releases stress. Everybody gets better. Everybody finds some kind of structure.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer in fitness, man. That it's like the magic pill to fix. Not everything, but a lot of things.
Yeah, those endorphins.
Yes, that Dr. Feelgood.
Dr.
feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I am so like crazy about it that, even my fiance knows that my workout comes first, even before her. Like that's gotta be first because that's what keeps me sane.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
like she's totally backs me up. She already knows that on Sunday, even if I don't work, I'm getting up at 3 a.m. I'm at the gym at 3:30. I work out and I come home about 8 or 9. Like
Wow.
so it's like
That's intense, man. So you go straight 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I get up every day at
5.
3 a.m. No matter whether it's Monday, Sunday, or I'm a creature of habit. I do the same thing every day.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Like, let me ask you, like, what's that like? What's that structure? Let me get an insight of like what does your typical like Monday look like?
I get up at 3 a.m. Get up, walk a little bit on my treadmill.
Okay.
She makes my breakfast for me while I'm doing cardio.
Nice.
Get off, eat, get ready for work, head into work. My first client's at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I train her at 5:30. It's grandma. She's been with me for about a year now.
Oh, jeez.
Older lady, but she trains with me 5 times out of the week, so she's pretty hardcore. And then I work out with my Wrong to Strong crew from 5:30 to 7. And then I just go nonstop. I have clients back to back from 7 all the way to about 5 now because I used to work nights, but I canceled my nights so I could spend some time with my family.
Quality time, man.
Yeah, she was giving me a hard time about that.
You talked to us a little bit about your future plans, what you got cooking and brewing up. Let's jump into a little bit about the future and what you got going on. You are actually participating in an event coming up. You guys are training for a show. Give us a little bit of background on that show.
Yeah, it's gonna be my first bodybuilding show. It's July 20th in Mesa at the Art Center, I believe. Pretty much, I hired the guy that I do the show with, Bo. He's my coach.
Yeah.
A trainer should never train himself because we're our worst critics. So I hired outside eyes to pretty much guide me through my prep. And
how's that been going for you?
I'm hungry. I got
even the best of us get hungry. Yeah.
I went from 248 to I'm at 190 right now. So
holy shit!
Yeah. So
I'm hungry for you. And you're going to Dave & Buster's today?
I'm gonna drink. I got 2 of those in the car. I drink that Diet Coke Zero, man, and it just keeps me like sane, you know.
The gum keeps you a little
and
sugar boost.
I chew a lot of gum while I'm doing it. And,
I know a little bit about the secrets behind it.
So it's I do a lot of things, man. I even do BCA like frozen pops that I keep in the
very
fridge.
cool.
I have little secrets here and there that I do, but
nice.
It's been tough. It's really, really tough to lean out, man. It's really, really tough to drop your digits to single digits in body fat, man. It's a mind game, especially when you have the kids over and they're ordering pizza and you know
all the little things.
It's tough. So yesterday when the kids ordered pizza, I just went to bed. I went to sleep because I couldn't stand the smell of it. So I was like, I'm going to bed. And I went to bed.
Do you schedule cheat meals? Or are you on a different like what?
The way that he trains, he pretty much gives you carbs throughout the whole thing. But I'm kind of behind on schedule because I messed up a couple weeks back, and I told you I don't believe in first. I have one gear and it's like number 10. Like I ate like 4 cheeseburgers and like 2 large pizzas and a dozen donuts. Like when I go
10,000 calories.
I don't mess around. Like he doesn't even believe how much I can eat. He said, "That's crazy, dude."
You did what?
So it's like I messed up pretty bad and I gained about 10 pounds, so I had to lose them again.
Oh,
so it set me back.
Jesus, man, I mean, you learned the hard way. Right? You won't do it again.
No, I just know that it's crunch time, and like now I'm gonna have to like really, really like suffer these next couple of days where we're gonna go like all protein, no carbs at all for a couple of days.
That's monstrous right there.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah. I would not like to be around you that day, be a customer. I'd be like, we're doing extra today.
Well, my clients kind of know me already, so I get really quiet. That's about it. I just get really quiet. It's not the normal JC.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. That's good though. I mean, I'm glad that you you're just. I'm glad that you're the person that you are because it just another person maybe in your shoes probably wouldn't be the kind of happy-go-lucky the person that I sit here before me today, or I mean, at least not be able to do something like this, like a podcast or anything like that. So appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. The biggest thing for me is getting my message out there, man. And,
yeah, so talk a little bit about that message. What do you want people to know, and what do you want them to help understand? Another thing that I wanted to ask you, like, what makes you different from the other trainers? What's that X factor for you?
I mean, honestly, man, I'm gonna give it to you in black and white, and you're not gonna meet somebody as real as me. Like I'm just gonna. I'm not in it to take your money. I'm in it because it's therapy for me.
Yeah.
Me helping people get to where they need to be is therapy for me. This is the reason why I was so interested in starting my nonprofit and getting it up and running. Is like helping all these guys, these vets, these addicts. You know, these guys getting out. Like it's therapy for me. At the end of the day, they're helping me more than I'm helping them.
Yeah.
They think it's the other way around, but it's really them helping me.
That's
and
awesome.
It's it feeds my soul, man. I can't express how I feel when I go home. Like it's a feeling that you spend a lot of time trying to find yourself in life, and when you do and you start doing something you really, really love, it's almost like it's like a flower starts to grow inside of you, and it's crazy how you feel. It just, you're like on top of the world, like skipping, and like you can be as broke as like and barely be making it, but you're like, yeah, man, I'm on top of the world. Like, it's just it's a
and
feeling,
that's what this is for me. Like honestly, like I mean, I wouldn't be doing this for the past 2 years if I didn't fucking love turning it on and just doing this back and forth.
I could tell because how when I met you, how your eyes lit up. I'm a very good, like, one thing we learn in prison is how to read people's body language and like facial expressions.
Yeah,
it's what keeps you alive. So
I get it, man.
You learn to pretty much see the bullshit in people.
Yeah.
And see the fake, and see when people are honest, and
Sure.
you get to see it. And so I see it, man. I see how, this is something that makes you happy. This is something that you enjoy to do, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If not, you'd be sitting with a shit-faced look, trying
just
to so tell me.
Yeah. Nah. I want to ask you too. It's like we talked about a little bit about like the DMX stuff, and like what's been your kind of like story as far as like broadcasting and being networking in this kind of as you're growing your brand, and those what's been your favorite kind of story to tell about growing this?
Honestly, it's just been more. I'm really not. How would they say that? A name dropper, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So I've always just told my story.
Yeah.
My story's pretty action packed, man. There's love, crime, there's everything in the.
Dude, I want to make a movie out of your whole story, because I feel like that's what it's gonna turn into.
I mean, honestly, think about it. I mean, what kid would end up, working for the cartel at the age of 17 in Mexico?
Jeez.
Driving, expensive cars.
Dude, you need to finish this book now.
It's like I sit back and I think about it, and I'm like, shit, man, I lived a pretty, like, I'm really like 100 years old. I'm not really 42. I'm like 100. Because it's crazy being 16 years old and making, 30 grand here and there, like, that's how much people make in 1 year, you know what I mean? So it's
Be honest with me, like, is it, you were selling drugs and things, or how you might have made it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I was in charge of cars that were coming in and out of Mexico. That's where I got caught. That's where I begun the longest stretch that I did in prison was when I got caught in Mexico, and I was in the Mexican prisons.
How'd they catch you? Like, did
they have in Mexico they have army. They'll set up roadblocks in certain areas where they know there's a lot of traffic stuff happening.
Yeah.
And I was so on top of the world that I was cocky, you know, and one of my drivers got scared and he was like, no, I'm not going through the roadblock. And I was like, oh, you know, leave this to the real men. And I jumped in the car and sure enough, I mean, I got caught. I got beat up. They sent me to a real messed up place that, it's crazy how the system is over there. All I remember is they opened these big black doors, threw me in, closed them, and I just never even seen a judge, and I just signed papers that I got 15 years, and that was it. Like,
what?
It was crazy. Like,
literally, you just went to a desk or something,
Yep.
and like someone gave you
That
papers
was
to
it.
sign.
I did. And some guy sitting on a desk, and I was like,
Oh,
that's how they roll over here. And I was like,
yeah.
shit. So, the American consul went to go see me. So once the American consul went to go see me, they started, you know, they made sure that I was an American, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I got in the American exchange program, but they charge you to bring you back. So you actually have to
Work
pay
out.
the money.
Yeah.
Pay the money in order to get transferred. But every time I came up with the money, my drug habit was so bad over there that I would spend it. And I would be like, fuck it, I'm just staying in Mexico. But, you know, 4 years later, I was like, shit, I need to get out of here. I'm going to die. I was like a stick. I was using so much stuff that, because in Mexico, it's, have you ever seen that movie, Get the Gringo with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is in there.
Wow.
That's the most, like, perfect description of what prison is in Mexico.
Okay.
Guns inside, drugs,
Yeah.
prostitution. It's just a little town inside of another little town.
Wow. Jeez. I'm just like, I'm baffled, man. I'm just like, that's a journey in itself. Like, that whole is right there, a movie, right? And I don't even know, like, do you just go, when you leave the prison, do you just walk home? Like, did you show up at home and like, hey, I'm home, or you started?
No, actually, I got transferred to La Tuna, federal prison in El Paso, Texas. I got there. That's when I realized, when I was on that plane flying over to the United States, I realized, I looked over to all the Americans and they all looked really bad, like mentally, like bad. And I realized that if I wouldn't have been in my young age of prime violence, I wouldn't have made it. Like, we seen a lot of bad stuff over there, like a lot of bad stuff. They were chopping heads already back then and doing a lot of stuff to like sex offenders. So the Americans came back pretty screwed up.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, I'm lucky I was so young in my prime that, you know, I made it out. So when I flew to Texas, I was there for a little bit. They released me, but I was wanted in Illinois for another case. So the sheriffs came and got me. I went to El Paso County Jail. Man, I've been all over the place.
Yeah, you
man.
got
Like,
jumped into like that place.
I've been from Florida to Alabama to, I mean, you name it.
It's like Johnny Cash song right there.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah.
I did a video the other day on my YouTube where I was kind of like telling my story a little bit. I actually had to take some of the pictures out of, because there was literally like 25 prisons, and I was like, you know what, the video is gonna be all prisons.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna be able to tell my story. So I took some of the pictures out, and I was like, wow, I never realized I'd been to that many places.
Jeez, man.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's another book. That's part 2.
That's part 2 of the movie.
I see part 3
This is like
because-
this is a mini series now. It's turning into an HBO mini series.
So
The other part too is like your drug habits. Like, how do you go from skinny, ready to 1 foot in the grave to probably you gain how much? Like, you probably lost. What was your lowest weight? What like your highest weight?
I mean, I was size 29 in waist when I got back from Mexico, so I was like skin and bones. And, you know, and the heaviest, and when I got home, I started eating really bad. I was really depressed, I was drinking a lot. I got all the way up to 287 pounds. I was really, really big, fat. And so...
You've gone like
Yeah.
up, down, up, down. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, you know, it's been a journey, man.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Jeez.
But I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's made you the strong man that you are, and like, so you go from, now let's go into like, you're back at your prime weight. You're now helping others. what's that first aha moment? You know, realizing that you're gonna start this business. Like, what makes that aha moment make you sign the LLC, sign the 501c, sign the documents to say Wrong to Strong is alive?
I just want it. Like, I'm hungry for it. Like, I wake up every day in the morning with new ideas. I wake up every morning just hungry to work out. I wake up every day hungry to help people. I know what I want. Like, you got a vision. I listen to a lot of motivational stuff, and right now, like, my favorite, I play it over and over again on my workout playlist, but it's that Mike Mills' new song, Win and Lose.
Yeah. And
it has that, what's his name, Les Brown, motivational speaker.
Yeah, I like Les Brown.
And that's the very first thing I listen to as soon as I wake up and I'm in the shower is motivational stuff.
Nice.
And it gets me, like, I get even, like, riled up. Like, I want to fight. I want to, it's a different kind of fight that I have in me now. So it's like, I'm ready to take on the world.
Yeah.
And I leave the house, like, even my fiance to this day, she's still like, you're fucking crazy. and
you said yes to that.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. This is why we get along, because you're fucking crazy too. I mean, if you were to see us, we look like the oddest couple, man. She's like 6 foot tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm only 5'6". So it's like, that should tell you that I'm really strong-minded, you know what I mean?
Where'd you meet her?
I met her at the gym.
Oh, okay. That's right.
And she's a lifter too. She likes to lift, you know. But
is she doing a competition?
No,
too?
right now she's dealing with the baby stuff, and like she gained weight, so right now she's losing it and everything. She's putting in the work, but yeah, she loves to work out and.
But still, people eat that shit up. Like when you go from like. You know, if she wanted to do like her own thing, like like a mommy strong.
That's what I told her. She's been really good about keeping track of everything. I told her, babe, you gotta show these women that once you have the baby, you can lose it, blah blah. So she's been doing good, But
it's a good little side hustle onto the other hustle, yeah.
Yeah, but my main focus is like for her to spend time with my daughter and
definitely
like I got her gym membership and everything, but it's crazy how much my daughter has came along just for spending a lot of that mommy time with her instead of dropping her off at daycare. Mm-hmm. So she's only 4 months old and she's already flipping around, trying to crawl, keeping her head up. Like she's very advanced.
She's got your.
Oh, like, she's a monster. Yeah. She's like 20 pounds already right now. She's only weigh like 12. So I don't know, man.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's good though. You can kind of see the. I want to get perspective too. I mean, I've never been a father, so it's like,
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's beautiful to see how happy they get to see you. They recognize you.
Her eyes bright up whenever she sees you.
It's something, man, that you can't put a price on it. You have to enjoy those. Because once they get older, they turn into little assholes. So you gotta enjoy those first years, man. And then after that, they just call you when they need money.
I keep hearing that the teenage years can get a little rough.
Yeah. And I get along with all my daughters. Julia is the one that I fight with the most because she's a copy of me. We are the same. The same in every way, and me and her just right now we're not talking right now. We just got into it not too long ago. And it's like we fight when we make up. We fight when we make up, and that's JC.
She'll hear this and she'll be like, I gotta call my dad. He's telling people stuff. We gotta work this out.
So like she's a copy of me, but like I don't. It doesn't faze me. I don't get mad. Like it's just what it is, and I'm just dealing with the old me. That's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's all good.
Do they get embarrassed whenever you post stuff, or do they like?
My Julia, like I said, is the one that I fight with the most. She tells me, Dad, why are you listening to rap? You're too old to listen to rap. And I'm like, dude, I'm not old. I'm barely 42, right? And she'd be like, why are you dressed like that?
You gotta explain to her, rap is like, it's the thing, like once you grow up on it does, like what you listen to is just a continuation. It never goes away.
It never goes away, but like, she's like, when a couple years back, I was like, I was in this I guess I wanted to like be in the best shape ever, and I was training, going to MMA gym, and I decided to get a mohawk, man. I don't know why, but I got a mohawk and I dyed it red, and she would not be seen with me nowhere. And I get it, you know. There's some things that you should just leave in the past, but yeah. I kind of dug it, you know. It was pretty cool.
Hey,
you gotta understand.
You gotta have those moments.
I went to prison at 16 almost, you know, 16. I grew up in there. So there's a lot of things that I still have on my bucket list that I want to do, man.
A bad hairstyle is one.
Bad hairstyle, you know.
I get it, man.
Just certain little things that, you know, you make those mistakes when you're young that I didn't get the chance to make.
Exactly. Like,
you know?
that's one of those things that, like, I know, like, in high school, God, my junior year of high school, I fucking had these long. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad hairdo, and I was like, nah. I don't even show that picture anymore. Like the 10th grade, like high school picture. Don't show it to anyone. Doesn't exist.
I had to throw away some pictures where I had those MC Hammer pants on, man. I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? How did I think those look cool? Like, I didn't understand why. Why would you think those look cool?
I don't know, man.
You know, and
it's crazy.
So
but it's good that your kids are like they're keeping you grounded, and they're like still like your worst critics ever. They'll always be like the most probably your harshest critics ever, and that. But I mean, it's what they do. They love you. They just want to see you be cool.
Yeah.
Just stay out of my life and just don't do anything embarrassing. Yeah. I just, you know, there's a lot of things that as we kind of continue this, I want to know, you know, what you want. What's the 10-year plan out of this? Like, because I know that you're the type of person, it seems from our conversation, you're the type of person to make these kind of plans. And what's your next couple of steps moving forward? You know, you have the BCAs coming out, I know, and then you have other things that I know you probably have noodling up there. What's the ultimate goals?
The ultimate goal, man, is to be able to. I look at every year I'm gonna make my net bigger and bigger to catch bigger fish.
Okay.
That's how the way I think. I look at it. Like right now I'm fishing for like maybe little tunas.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna catch me a fucking great white in a couple years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, 10 years from now, you know, who knows? Maybe Wrong and Strong will have a big center, just like the Salvation Army, you know, and we'll be able to help more. My biggest thing is a lot of people tell me, okay, so why don't you work with the kids? And I believe that, yeah, you know, the kids, it's good, we should work with them and everything, but it's just like a Band-Aid. I need to keep the dads out with the kids so that a change can happen, so that chain can break. Because if I keep them out and they're with their kids, I seen it with my 14-year-old. When I stayed out this time and I actually started doing good, even her grades changed. Everything changed. She called me yesterday. She's like, "Hey, Daddy, you're coming to my graduation?" And I was like, "Yeah, baby. Like, what do you need? Do we need to get a dress? Do you want me to dress up? What do you like? What can I show up in shorts?" She's like, "Please don't show up in shorts. Just,
you need those kind of have that information."
Like, you know, it's. If I keep the dads out with their kids, then the change is actually going to happen. And that's my biggest thing, is that I want to create a fucking change, man. And break that chain. Like, I mean, we have such a high rate of people going back. It's at like 80-something%, man. So it's like, if we could at least 1%, man, would do something.
Yeah.
It's got to.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I definitely think so.
The whole Wrong to Strong thing is like, you know, I have my office on 35th Avenue in Thomas in Maryville.
Yeah.
And I have the office there. I have a donation boxes with gym, you know, shoes, shorts, gym stuff so people can work out if they don't have no stuff.
Yeah.
The whole goal is to get that office up and running, to create a classroom to teach these guys how to become personal trainers, fitness classes,
nice.
How to use social media to their advantage to you know, market themselves and stuff like that, and create jobs for them.
Nice.
You know, where they don't have to go through the backup, the check and get turned down. Because honestly, that's one of the main things that fucks these guys up, is that they get out and they come out with so many dreams of starting over and everything, and you go and apply for a job, and they tell you, no, you're a convicted felon. You can't have this job. It starts to, you start almost saying like, well, fuck the world, and I'm just going to go back to what I know how to do.
Yeah.
Because it's easier. It's
Yeah.
easier to do what's wrong. It's very, very strong. It's very, very hard to be strong. That's my main saying, like, now. It's like, so it's like, if I could give these guys hope and tell them, look at, dude, it's going to take a little bit of work, but we got you. We got your back.
Yeah.
We got 30 guys on the crew that if you need a ride, we're going to send somebody to pick you up. If you need this, if you need clothes, if you need shoes, like, it's work. The wheel's turning right now. It's not where I want it to be yet, but, you know, Rome wasn't built in one day.
Exactly.
So,
hey man, but I'll let you know this. If there's anything that we can do to help out, let us know. We love volunteering. We love doing, you know, if you have a guy that you think should be sitting right where you are, please have them open door policy.
Okay,
For
thank
sure,
you.
man. It's
Thank
like
you.